the case today, as far as Nupur Sharma was concerned, was actually a plea by Nupur Sharma saying that, look, there are FIRs filed all over the country. Please consolidate them, uh, join them to the FIR filed by the Delhi police, and let investigation go on. At which point of time, the court was basically reacting to the plea and said that no, this is not a liberty that we feel inclined to give you, more particularly in the face of conduct which they made certain comments about. Now, you asked about the limits of free speech. See, there was this classic paragraph uh, in the 1920s by Justice Holmes, which is the basis of all free speech jurisprudence. It's in a case called U.S. versus Abrams, where Justice Holmes said that the answer to a speech is a speech. He was essentially saying that if there is something that is said, there's nothing which prevents somebody else from saying the contrary, and uh, uh, both kinds of speech work their way through the marketplace of ideas, so that the public at large can make up their own mind. But he was saying that 100 years ago, you barely had telephones. If you said something, uh, newspapers may print it, may not print it. Newspapers again uh, were sort of geographically challenged. They would cover a major city or two, and that was about it. But now we live in a different. The same Justice Holmes, at a later stage, came out with another aphorism. He said, "Freedom to speak does not mean freedom to shout fire in a crowded theater." So if you shout fire in a crowded theater, obviously they will cause a panic and probably a stampede and lead to people's death. So you can't use your freedom of speech to cause mischief. Even Holmes drew that line. Now uh, in today's world, all that got to do to speak is to just tweet it out, put it out on a video, and quite apart from freedom of speech, there is this, uh, I won't say freedom, but there is this question of reach. Anything and everything gets multiplied manifold. And you may have said something in a particular context, it can be taken amiss, and it can have an impact worldwide. So, therefore, if you are representing a major party, a ruling party at the center, there are limits to what you can say and if violence ensues as a consequence of your speech, then you can't run away from responsibility. I think that's what the Supreme Court basically intended to tell Nupur Sharma. And so we have freedom of speech. You can make laws which can reasonably restrict that freedom in the interests of the sovereignty and integrity of India, the security of state, friendly relations with foreign states, public order, decency, or morality, or in relation to contempt of court, defamation, or incitement to an offense. These are the various subjects on which your freedom of speech can be restricted by law. That is the general matrix of the constitutional provision on freedom of speech.